Squash XL Pro is an elite team that work hard to train, play and run squash events on our journey to climb the world rankings. Like, subscribe, comment, pick up some of our merch on Teespring.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that these two just continue their rivalry. It's the third Challenger final around New Zealand, where they have competed for the title. Of course, the Royal Oak Open, that was won by Kaitlyn and that was in 5. And then we had the Waikato Open just a couple of weeks ago, which was won in 5 as well. On each of those occasions, Emma Miller, the top seed in the violet-purple colour, she had match points, but Kaitlyn Watts threw herself all over the court in both of those finals and came through and won. And what it means is that Emma Miller is still searching for her first PSA Challenger title. Kaitlyn Watts, the 20-year-old in the black outfit there, pretty determined to get another. And a very long rally for these two. And very shortly I'll be joined by Tim Gordon, the president, just to say a couple of words. President of the PANMURE Squash Club, of course hosting this PSA Challenger. And it is thanks to Technifibre. And we've seen plenty of very entertaining matches throughout the last couple of weeks. Last couple of days, that is, not couple of weeks. And we'll just have a look now at this rally. Jammed against the wall. Nice little round of applause there for Kaitlyn Watts. And of course, the men's final coming up at 2 p.m. That'll be the number 1 and 2 seeds. And that is Evan Williams up against Luaba Chilisi. And great to have people watching, viewing from around the country, and of course Palmerston North. And if there's anybody from the Waikato supporting Emma Miller. And so far no real pattern just yet, but we're only in the 6th point now. 3-2 up Kaitlyn Watts. Remembering that these players really looking for form, particularly before the Barfoot and Thompson Auckland Open, that is 2 weeks away. Thursday week, that is, that it starts. And that's... So, no major here from the players, just figuring out which side they're on and who's at which points. Nice work down the line, backhand wall and then cross. And feel free to come through with any predictions for the men's final in particular. I know there's people out of Hutt Valley very keen to see Evan Williams continue his title run of challenges around New Zealand and also onto the NZ title. That's linked next month in Hutt Valley. Of course, we had Evan Williams and the Luaba Chilisi 5-game final in the national champs last year. And let's see if it happens again. And of course, we do have some comments coming in from Wellington saying that they're all supporting Emma Miller because she's Wellington, even though the Waikato claims her as hers. I guess it depends where you grew up and where you live now. You can take whichever. Just not coming under that ball enough there, hitting it a bit too flat. So far the depth has been pretty good from both players. We haven't seen too many volleys. And as we get into the interesting stages of the first game of this women's final, Kaitlyn Watts against Emma Miller. And I'd just like to have a couple of words now to Tim Gordon, who is the president of PANMURE Squash Club, putting on this tournament. And Tim, you've got to be pretty happy with the results so far. We've got a 1 versus 2 here. 1 versus 3. We've got 1 versus 2 in the men's, so we've got some good squash.
Yeah, we have, David, thanks. And the men's will be a repeat of last year's final, so it's going to be an exciting matchup.
Because last year it was actually Luwamba who won that over Evan. I think this is probably the last time that Evan lost in New Zealand. It was a satellite final, but it was a good satellite final. Now we're up to challenger level, so a little bit more onto it.
Yep, correct. And Lou said it before the tournament started, he's determined to win this again this year.
It's been great to have people coming through with a bit of engagement there on the live stream. And again, Christopher Watts saying that the favourite child is playing. There's always a debate there in the Watts family because there's quite a few of them as to who the favourite child is. And at this stage it seems to be Kaitlyn. She's won 2 challenger titles and has won the first game here. What about yourself, Tim? You enjoyed seeing some of the squash so far?
Loved it. I actually played myself, which is a bit hard at my age, but had to get involved.
Stroke there.
Yep, beautiful shot. Yep.
And for the club running a tournament like this, there's a lot of man hours that are put into it.
Yeah, look, it's
is it worthwhile, do you think?
I think so. It is. Being a challenger series is particularly difficult. A lot of coordination with the UK PSA and rejigging the draw every 5 minutes. But very worthwhile. Lots of good support down from families, friends. Very good tournament.
And you've had a couple of people in particular, I think, really helping on the floor, on the ground there were such. Who were they?
Fraser Spencer's been our tournament coordinator, so he's put in a huge amount of work with the draw and, as I said, coordinating with PSA and obviously Squash New Zealand, trying to get the draw organised. I think it's one of the reasons why not too many clubs take on the challenger, because there's that much work involved.
These players, you don't get too many complaints from them.
No.
Emma Miller hardly just keeps on smiling even when she's losing. Looking for more of a pattern. You can see a good variety from the youngster there from Kaitlyn Watts. A good point. And for you, Tim, we're going to let you go because you've got quite a few things on. There's not just this match. There's quite a few other matches going on around the venue. We've got 5 divisions in the men and 4 in the women. So we'll let you go and go and sort out, hopefully no problems, but go and sort everything out.
Thanks, David.
And as we get to the interesting stage of the second game, of course, Kaitlyn Watts winning the first. And that was 11-6. Sean Wigan, what do you think so far?
Well, looking at that first game, because I was down with the audience. Courtside, you could call it. I saw Kaitlyn down 3-6, winning 8 straight points in the end of the first game. And I was just some incredible drives down the wall, both backhand and forehand. Looks like she's striking the ball really well today, and already starting to get a good run here. Usually Emma gets the better starts out of these two, so Kaitlyn will be very happy to have got the first game here.
Yeah, because I mean, initially in that first game, there wasn't much pattern. There wasn't anyone doing anything, just in the initial stages. No one was doing anything too much. Maybe it just looked like first game jitters, maybe?
Yeah, maybe just a bit loose from both players, but then Kaitlyn found her range, like I said, especially with those incredible drives down the wall. And now it's just starting to bring that short game in a little bit now. We start to get to the mid-stage of the second game.
And Sean, there's been quite a bit of good depth because I haven't seen too many volleys from either player really being able to get up and and take the ball on the full. There's been quite good depth.
Well, they're both keeping it low and hard.
Yeah.
And it's, as you say, hitting some really good depth on the shots there as well. It's not just going down the middle of the court, unlike that one.
Oh,
and you can see why they can't afford to do that. Kaitlyn just punishing that ball straight away.
well, we do have a number of the Watts family coming through on Messenger, and I don't think there's any debate as to who the favourite child is this time. We had that in Waikato. I think that's just sorted. Also that Wellington has claimed Emma Miller. She grew up there, so they've claimed her, so Waikato's lost her.
Yeah, come on Waikato people. Come out and say that Emma's yours.
Yes, yeah. Oh, nice pick up. It's a good rally, this one. Where's she going to go? Oh.
Not sure what was happening on that occasion. Must be the...
Well, I mean, she thought she had maybe Kaitlyn to the left of her, and she was really behind her, so she sort of ducked under the shot, didn't hit it with quite enough authority, I think. And then Kaitlyn was there.
Well, Kaitlyn's got some pretty nice reactions there, so they will definitely claim that one.
And which one have we got coming through there? Sean, who's that one?
So we got Dean Watts now watching all the way from...
Where is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. Somewhere.
But does say Brazil?
Yeah, I'm thinking, wow, if you're in Brazil, great stuff. Maybe that's just what they call a little town in Manawatu.
So Kaitlyn here getting a small lead here now.
Just got to say that. Yeah, there we go, game ball. And that last point, Emma Miller just seemed a little bit, I wouldn't say not trying, she just didn't seem to be putting enough into it.
Well, having had 2-5 setters with Kaitlyn in the past, it can always be tough, especially with the, as you know, Kaitlyn will
that's a good drive to finish.
Always wants to improve her game, and it makes it even harder for someone like Emma to stay in touch with a player like Kaitlyn.
So now back for the third game, and it is Kaitlyn Watts. 2 games to love up. The first 11-6, the second 11-7, and she's really gunning for another title here. And gunning for her third victory over Emma Miller. And great that we've got all the Watts supporters from Brazil. Yes, definitely it is the big country in South America. Amazing country it is to visit. So to have the Uncle Dean there and everybody else watching. And Emma Miller just seems to be off, wouldn't you say, Sean Wickham?
Yeah, well, of course, these two have played a fair few times this year already. Kaitlyn winning the edge in both Royal Oak and Waikato Open in 5. And, of course, Kaitlyn always wanting to improve her game. Probably has a little bit more time to practice as well compared to Emma, so that makes it hard for Emma to stay in touch as Kaitlyn continues to improve. So it's certainly showing at the moment in this game. Kaitlyn hitting some really nice shots down the ball today.
Well, she's entered everything, Kaitlyn Watts, since she's decided to come back. I mean, there was obviously Royal Oak, and then there was Waikato, but there was Bay of Plenty last week. There was a satellite that she won. I think there was a Geyser City non-PSA as well. I think she's in Auckland, possibly Browns Bay. Just about
I don't think she's in Browns Bay, I heard.
Just about everything else she's entered, and she's playing a huge amount of squash.
Yeah, of course, we'll have to feature against a few Aussies in a few weeks. It'll be a much harder draw there, but she'll certainly look forward to that challenge against those top Australians.
A couple of top 100 Australians, so they'll make it even better. A nice angle there from Kaitlyn Watts, just moving forward, just able to hold it and flick it across court. And now with the 2-point lead.
Nice and tight down the wall there.
Well, Well, keeping to the backhand wall and just not quite herself the way she's playing. But that can also be because of the pressure that's coming on her as well. As Emma
Well, Kaitlyn's really hitting that ball really well today. Certainly, as you can see, Emma's almost out of answers now. Just maybe wondering what she needs to do.
One of the first errors there from Kaitlyn, we haven't really seen too many. There's one error. I think when you do those sort of shots, you're under a lot of pressure or you've lost your footwork.
Yeah,
I mean, a little lift off.
Certainly a sign of desperation, maybe a little bit there from Emma there. Again, just Kaitlyn getting back every single shot, maybe forcing Emma to much more uncharacteristic errors that she would do in her other games. Incredible movement here from Kaitlyn.
What are you going to give? Play a let?
Yeah, just caught on the backswing about the back there. So
I think the thing is there that Miller had to check herself just to make sure she wasn't going to hit Kaitlyn there. So probably wasn't a stroke, do you think?
Well, it was quite the backswing there. So it's.
So let was the best call.
Let definitely was probably the right call there. So at 7-3 now to Kaitlyn. Looking at another title there after having already picked up a few challenger titles already this
that's
season.
Nice shot. That's a good shot. Gets the applause from Emma Miller as Kaitlyn Watts just take one step, takes it on the full, and puts it into the forehand corner. Nice. Well, Sean, I think it's been a very efficient, very professional display from Kaitlyn Watts. She's had a great game. Really played at the top of her game.
Well, she would have learned a lot from those first two matchups of Emma. Yeah, she picked up the win great battling in those two games, but she would have also gone back to just had a look at those games she wasn't looking great at, especially at the start of each game. It looked like it was going in route here as well when she was down 6-3, but she really picked her game up. Really picked her game up here.
Chasing everything down.
Oh, no way. She can't do anything wrong at the moment.
Oh, it took so much for Emma to win that point. I mean, it looked as though, well, she probably felt as though she'd won it 5 times, and even then with the dive, it became difficult.
And I think that's the big key today. She's trying to make Emma win the point more than once, and it's maybe just taking its toll a little bit on Emma in each point, maybe just one shot too many.
Oh, just stay in. Oh, and there you go. Again, she had to play so many shots. And the frustration there. It's a great play from Kaitlyn Watts.
So here, got championship ball here, 10-4.
Oh, no. And there you go, the win for Kaitlyn Watts in straight games. The score was 11-6, 11-7, and 11-4. And Sean Wigan, that was a very comprehensive display from Kaitlyn Watts.